Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back, and you are tuned into the Nafeesa Dangor show, and we're definitely inspiring you this afternoon in many different directions. We're also going to, of course, teach you how to give back, and there's definitely a company that we're going to be profiling, an organization that is giving back in many different directions. And let me speak to you about them. They're the Phoenix Dava Advice, Dava and Care Center, and they, of course, were founded in 2003 and was registered as a non-profit organization in April 2006 with the Department of Social Welfare, and also as a public benefit organization with SARS in March 2008. The Phoenix Advice Dava and Community Center has been assisting the needy for the past 31 years. And on the line, I have with me brother Abdul Wahab Khan from the, of course, Phoenix Advice Dava and Care Center. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah so much for joining me this afternoon on the Nafeesa Dangor show.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Nafeesa. Jazakallah for having us.
The pleasure is only ours. It's always nice to profile people who are uplifting others and, of course, giving back in many directions. So talk to us about the organization, how it was founded, and, of course, what it is that you are doing at the moment.
Alhamdulillah, actually, the Islamic Society of Rydal Vale was founded in 1980. The people, this place, people came into Phoenix, and alhamdulillah, and then after that, we did quite a bit of things. We had madrasas and all the other programs. And in 2003, we saw the need, because of the socio-economic conditions, and that's where the Phoenix Advice and Dawah Center came up, you see.
Gee, talk to us about the different projects that you have on your array. I see there's loads of them. You're doing a lot of giving back in many directions. Let's talk about the projects.
Alhamdulillah, we have our feeding scheme. On a daily basis, our women's forum is very active. We feed 5 schools on a daily basis, Then we have a welfare. We do hampers on a daily basis, and then we also rent and electricity accounts we help people with. Then we have our Hajj and Umrah seminar. We have annually, and this year it was scheduled for the 31st of May because of the lockdown and problems. We didn't have a Hajj and Umrah seminar. In fact, and also a sponsorship Hajj and Umrah. We've assisted quite a few people to go for Hajj and Umrah also, And then we've got our Operation Qurbani and Operation Winter Warm programs. We have classes for the reverts, on a weekly basis. We have a bursary and scholarship program. We have a Islamic creche and a preschool. We have a masajid, with daily salah on the 5 days, the Jummah salah, Taraweeh and all. In our multi-purpose hall, we have very programs, also. And then we have various other programs, we carry a Ramadan program. We had, alhamdulillah, we assisted the people on a daily basis with alim, naan, and food. And alhamdulillah, during the lockdown, we did about 2,000 hampers, People were desperate, they were hungry, they were calling us. And alhamdulillah, we went to the homes and delivered the food hampers, And we had assistance from...
And especially, I think, during this period now with the COVID-19 lockdown, I'm sure you're having to give out food has become a lot more demanding than what it was prior, because with people not having, jobs and the increase in unemployment, I'm sure there's been a bigger call for it and a bigger need than before.
Yes. People are desperate now, In fact, hundreds of people are still calling us. People have lost their jobs. They have no jobs. Their lights and electricity don't have money to pay for that. And quite a few people have lost their job. And people are desperate, Like, for example, when we had the Eid feeding scheme, we were surprised. We didn't advertise, and there were hundreds of people waiting for food, So people are very desperate, they're starving. And in the condition of people, we did the home visit was shocking, man, Then we have the increase in...
Talk to us about that, because the thing is, what I want our listeners to understand is how you've been reaching out to the people in that particular area, because I want them to know that how much more dire the situation has gone than actually what it was before. And I always say that there was impoverished areas and people are suffering from poverty, but I think the situation is a whole lot worse now than what it was before.
Gee, although we were at home, but we had the landline, and then people were calling us and telling us, look here, we need food. We can't. There was no taxi service. There was a problem, stage 5 lockdown, So alhamdulillah, what we did, we went home to home, The ladies were very active, our women's forum, and we went to the homes and we delivered, the food hampers. We did meat, we did chicken, we had muns, and alhamdulillah, so many other things we did, because, we had the backup, from the, and then also we had other organizations that came in with us, like the Caring Sisters Network, and then we had the Sultan Bahu Center, Mancosa, College International. So all these people came together, and then also the gift of the givers also. And alhamdulillah, we assisted a lot of non-Muslims also. They were desperate also, not only Muslims, alhamdulillah.
And it's nice to see you creating that support structure with each other, because a lot of the times I always say is when you united we stand and we can do much more. It's so nice to see that with yourself and all the other organizations, you've created the support structure and you're reaching out even further. And then so of course, you can do a lot more than you did before.
Alhamdulillah, with this, the old organizations came in like Dada Spice, Class Foods, and alhamdulillah, we're so much better this time, we were organized also, and then we went to the homes, and then we had support, and alhamdulillah, and then people were coming in, and we had over 2,000. Up to now, we are still doing the hampers, alhamdulillah. People are calling in, they don't have jobs, so alhamdulillah, we're assisting them. They're coming to the office now, alhamdulillah,
And let's talk about the skills development, because for me, I think skills development is very important. Because with skills development comes sustainability, comes empowerment. You, of course, uplift people in many directions. And I think it's important to have that as one of your projects.
Alhamdulillah. We've got these classes, we're doing the sewing, dressmaking. We've got a lady who's making ladies' hats and, all these other things, And also we have this other thing, we teach them how to make samosas and how to make the pies and sweets, meats and all that, So alhamdulillah, the ladies are going back and whatever little, they're trying to assist them also financially, to buy some of the stuffs. They go home and they make this and then try and sell,
Shukri, it's so nice to see that happening, because what happens is, of course, like you say, you're creating the sustainability. Whatever they're learning is what they're implementing, and of course, opening little businesses for themselves where they can earn something in return.
Alhamdulillah, so we're trying to do that also, besides giving them, assisting with the rentals and with electricity and all that, we're trying to do that also, we become self-sufficient, you see, alhamdulillah, But this is all the support. We can't do it on ourselves, the donors. We must thank our donors, and alhamdulillah, they've been assisting us all the time, Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole idea, is to bring to the light the importances and, of course, the needs at the moment. I'm sure being in touch with all the, the people in the impoverished environments as such, besides the food, what is it that you find is the most important thing that people are experiencing during this COVID-19 period?
Okay, yeah, they can't afford to pay the electricity account, they can't pay the rentals, they got medical bills, all these other things. They are stuck with their accounts, So alhamdulillah, we're trying to assist them whichever way we could, alhamdulillah, So people have got serious problems, and a serious socio-economic problems. We have domestic violence have increased in the area, and then all these other problems, because people are frustrated, they don't have jobs, and they don't have food at home. The drugs, the drug lords, actually, they're making more money at this point of time, because, people are desperate. They don't have job. They are stealing, there's rape, there's murders, things have gone out of hand, actually,
Yeah, and I think it's for us to come together and try and create the support structure to, of course, help people overcome all these different experiences that they're going through. And I think through you as well and all the organizations that you team up with, I think you first look at the needs in the community and then, of course, go out and fulfill those needs. And that's how it works.
Yeah, Gigi. The people call us and then they come to us. We do the home visit, and then alhamdulillah, then, we check it out and we go and assist them, But we have hundreds of people.
How have you been dealing with the domestic violence? Because, I mean, even yesterday, President Cyril Ramaphosa was talking about the amount of gender-based violence and how serious it's become. That is listed it as bad as the pandemic. It's becoming an increasingly bad situation as far as that goes.
Yes, it's quite bad, serious. Like, for example, we did one home visit, and the lady was, so desperate. She called, she needed food, she's got children, and then, this happened in the past, and she said, the husband is very abusive. Actually, he shot all of them. He died, and they survived. And she kept on phoning us
Sure.
and thanking us for the food and for the other assistance we had given her. So things are quite bad. So whatever we could
Yeah.
do, we
So,
can't.
what sort of support structure do you think needs to be put in place in those areas for women and, of course, men and children uh, to be dealing with this abusive environment that they find themselves in?
Well, see, the thing is, well, at the moment the excuse is because of the lockdown. They're frustrated. They don't have jobs and all these other things. That's creating the problem. And I hope it will improve.
Mhm.
The government got to come in, with the support structures and all, to assist you. See.
Yeah, but I also believe that you do counseling, so I think that also helps a lot because the counseling is falls into that category of helping people with the domestic violence, helping them overcome substance abuse in some way, and of course, helping them with HIV and AIDS. Where they find themselves in a situation where they need this added counseling. And it's nice to see that you're offering those counseling structures because that's what happens a lot of the times in those areas. You find it's difficult to be able to find that need there.
Gee, it's very difficult. So confidentially they come in. Rokeya Babad does the counseling from the office. She's done the AIDS course and all that other courses. Alhamdulillah. So she, speak to the people confidentially. She tell them what to do and things like that. Yeah, and then
Gee,
it's just free of charge. We don't charge them. We free of charge. We do the counseling, alhamdulillah. So just thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for giving us the opportunity to do the work, alhamdulillah. And also
that's
Salam
very
Media,
true. I mean,
alhamdulillah, for all the interviews.
what does this mean for you? What have you found your purpose in life? Because a lot of people, when they give back, I think I always say when I give back, I think the best fulfillment I get is from knowing that I've either uplifted, empowered, or supported someone in some way and changed their life in a different direction. So, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it motivates us to go more further. We are still scratching the surface. We haven't done anything the way we look at it. But alhamdulillah, you feel happy. You see somebody happy. You can see in the eyes and, the feeling that jazakallah. In fact, you don't have to say jazakallah. This is your share. What we're doing, it belongs to you. We're just, there just to provide the service. But alhamdulillah, we feel so much happier. In fact, the ladies are very active. So alhamdulillah, they work Sundays. In Ramadan, they have 7 days a week they were working. The ladies distribute the Naan and Halim. In fact, the ladies are very active. Alhamdulillah. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that.
Gee,
So,
what future projects do you see yourself doing?
well, alhamdulillah, it's a normal what we are doing, but, we have to look at it now because our preschool and Islamic creche is closed at the moment, because of the lockdown. And even the schools, we're not providing the lunches at the moment. We're doing it on a daily basis. 5 schools we're providing the lunch. But inshallah, we'll have to look at other things, where we could continue, inshallah. Now the Qurbani project is coming, inshallah, possibly end of July in Eid al-Adha, we'll have to do the Qurbani, alhamdulillah. We've got our freezer room. We can take in about 100 carcasses, alhamdulillah. So we do that. And, in the winter now, we're trying to get blankets and other things. We were doing the track suits and hundreds of them, to the school we should provide because over 1 million people in the township of Phoenix, and we can't give anybody the blankets. So we should get the schools to select the poorest of the poor children, and we're going to the schools and giving them the blankets and the track suits. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Nice
now with
one.
the schools closed, I think it makes it a lot more difficult to reach out to them.
Very difficult. There's so many people, but inshallah, those who are coming here, we check out, we know who they are, and we'll provide them with blankets, but not the tracksuit. Inshallah, when the school reopens, we can do the tracksuits and other things, alhamdulillah.
What message do you have for our listeners as far as giving back is concerned?
Well, we have to thank the people who have been supporting us actually for the last 40 years. In 1980, the society was formed, just to assist the people who were displaced by the group areas. And since then, the people have been supporting us. Alhamdulillah, we must thank them and ask them if they can even come and join us, come and see the project, see what's going on at the center, Alhamdulillah.
And of course, to get others to help you. And it's not just about, of course, the giving as far as monetary value is concerned. I'm sure you will appreciate the added hands and the extra help that can come in and help you move even more forward than you were before.
Alhamdulillah, initially the 5 stage of the lockdown, the Sultan Bahu members came from Durban, The brothers came in and alhamdulillah assisted us. They came with us. We went to the home. Even on Eid al-Fitr, when we're doing the feeding scheme, the Sultan Bahu brothers were there and others were here to help us, to assist us, to feed the people, alhamdulillah. Really appreciate that, different people are coming in. It's, the special thank you to the Caring Sisters Network, alhamdulillah, tremendous amount of assistance they've given us. They've given us meat vouchers, they've given us those hampers and all these other things, alhamdulillah. And all the other donors, Menkosa, Dada Spa, Chiklas Food. There's so many we can't mention, but alhamdulillah. This, the food hamper just poured. Initially, there was nothing, but alhamdulillah, when it started, it didn't stop. Alhamdulillah. Thank
Right.
Allah.
That's so nice to hear. What message do you want to give our listeners about, just hanging in there through this COVID-19 period? It's a very difficult period, I think, for everybody. But I always tell people that I speak to, I think it's a time to, of course, reconnect and reflect and retrospect with our Creator and look back at our lives and ask ourselves, it's time to ground ourselves and start giving back to others. And it's phenomenal to see the support structures that have been created through this period.
Alhamdulillah, we must reflect, go back and this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for us to change, to make more ibadat, make sure we were not doing our salah properly, 5 times salah, make tahajjud salah, and make du'as, and so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change the situation, inshallah.
Inshallah, Ameen. But Jazakallah so much for joining us this afternoon and shedding some light on the matter on your organization and the phenomenal work that you are doing there. And we wish you nothing but more strength and success from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to help you move out there and reach out to many more people than you have already. But thank you so much for joining us. It was definitely an inspirational segment with you.
Jazakallah, Nafeesa. We really appreciate it. And then, we wish Sanam Media will go from strength to strength, alhamdulillah, for the assistance, for exposing
Ameen.
the work we're doing, alhamdulillah, in the township, Jazakallah.
Ameen. And we hope that this has gotten more listeners involved in, of course, wanting to give back to you.
Inshallah. Jazakallah, man. We really appreciate it.
You take care and you stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What a phenomenal gentleman. That was Brother Abdul Wahab Khan, of course, from the Phoenix. It's the Dava and Care Center in Phoenix, and they're definitely giving back in many directions. Phenomenal work coming out from there between skills development and upliftment, and of course, reaching out during this very difficult period. Stay with us. We're going to be back with our wholesome segment, and we're going to be with Shares Eats. So stay tuned.